How many times have you started over? Same goal, different time of year, every time super motivated? So tell me, how come we're here again? How come we're starting over one more time? Well, let me tell you, motivation is a feeling, an emotion, right? And studies say that the motivation is the highest right at the start of a goal. So as soon as you start, that's when it maximizes. Funny thing is, that's right when everybody quits. When motivation is super high, is people use it and then they stop. So let me ask you if this sounds pretty familiar. You're listening to something, watching something Sunday night, get super fired up, go hard at it until Thursday, something comes up, end of goal, starting over. That sound familiar? Well, it does. It's the trap of chasing something that you want, and the want of doing something rather than the actual doing of it. For me, this is always about learning to play music. I've wanted to learn to play the guitar my entire life. My whole family's musical, and I've wanted to play the guitar. And every so often, I get fired up and I borrow a guitar and I start to play, and I'm good for about, honest to goodness, 2-3 days, and it's over. Because it's the want of doing it that excites me more than the actual labor of practice. And that is what kills everybody, what stops them from achieving with motivation alone, right? Motivation isn't getting it done, because motivation is borrowed energy. We've listened to a guru or speaker or some motivational thing or somebody else's results, and we get fired up, right? And that, of course, we know everything that we borrow, money, whatever, a car, it's got a return date. So you're going to run out of that borrowed energy sooner or later. And for most people, all of us, it's sooner than later, right? Because we can't just go on. In fact, I think it's easier when you're younger, right? Because you're just full of emotion and motivation to go forward. When you get, over 35, that starts to wane a little bit. You get real fired up, but life gets in the way of all that stuff. And people that actually build things, build their lives, are super successful, they're going forward and achieving on a regular basis, they're not waiting for motivation. They're doing without motivation. They might get fired up, but they're doing without. And if this stings, if this hurts your feelings because you knew this already, then why do you still outsource your drive to somebody else? Why do you let somebody else get you motivated to do something instead of having it come internally? Because motivation doesn't come internally, right? Otherwise, we'd all have it on tap all the time. And so we know. And so this little restart cycle that you're in all the time, restart, work hard, restart, is just a symptom. It's not the problem, okay? The problem isn't a failure of your willpower. It's a failure of your structure. You don't have the proper things built in your life, in the way you're doing things, in order to make the actions happen even when you don't feel like it, when you don't have that motivation, when you don't have that drive. You need to be able to draw upon that within yourself in order to go ahead and make that happen. So you need systems. That's number one thing. You need commitment. That means the drive of yourself to make the actions happen. And of course, you need the identity of the guy, the person, the lady who acts on those things and takes that action, right? The ones that, they get up and do their exercise no matter what, even if they don't feel like it. They're the ones that don't eat the chocolate muffin just because it's sitting there, because that's not part of their plan, right? So that's what we have to do with you. We have to make it. Now, the only alternative to all of this is to be deliberate and foundational. That means back to basics. You got to get rid of all of your fluffy little things that you think are going to help you achieve and really suck it back to where you are deep inside the core of you. So, and this is part of my whole Stone Age success principle, right? This is what I've tried to develop with clients, hundreds of them over the last few years, on how to build systems to be able to do the things they need to do to succeed when the good feeling runs out, which happens really, really quickly, right? We all know that the motivation, the excitement of doing it runs out as soon as it becomes work, because work's a 4-letter word, and we know we don't enjoy that very much. So the first thing you need is clarity. That means you have to understand the why you're wanting to go get that goal. Is it something that really drives you? Is it something that you must do? You must achieve that, right? Lots of people have goals like me with the guitar. Why don't I keep working at it? Because I don't really want to achieve it, right? It's not something critical to my life. If I don't get it, well, c'est la vie. If I do, awesome, but it's not something I want. So I don't ever try very hard at it. I don't build the systems in order to keep my practice going long enough to get good at it, right? And that's what we have to do. We have to learn how to have systems, structures in place to do it when it's work. The first few times you practice or you go to the gym or you start doing your new tasks at your new position that you've got, they're easy to do because you're still filled with that borrowed motivation. After that, they become work. Second thing you need is a routine. That's like a schedule of when you're going to make things happen. Because if you don't put it in your routine, then it's an added on extra. And if it's an added on extra, it's easy to drop, right? We all know that, right? It's one more thing that somebody gives you that, oh, you can do this if, well, gone. Because the day-to-day activities, the things that eat up your life, kids, work, all that stuff, that just pushes that extra chunk right out the window. You don't have time for that. So you got to build it into your actual day routine. And then, of course, you need the non-negotiable, which means the minimum that you're going to accept on a day, on your worst day. This is the minimum amount that you're going to accept to go forward on your worst day, right? So it might be the 10-minute walk is the minimum exercise that you're going to accept on any day if it's your worst day ever. That's the minimum. So that means you're still going to do something towards your goal, but that's the minimum. All right. So you need those three things: clarity, routine, and the non-negotiable, the thing that's going to happen no matter what. And people who really succeed over and over and over again, they don't have the more motivation than you. They're not more driven than you. They're not anything more than you. They've just stopped waiting for these things to happen. They've stopped restarting. They've built in these things so that whatever the goal is that they truly have the why to achieve, they just put it in their routine and bang out, grind out the results. And it happens. It happens quite fast. Once you actually get working on something, the amount that it takes to get there is actually not that hard. It's not that bad. But you have to have the why, you've got to have the routine, and you've got to have the little non-negotiables so that you keep going forward to it. What kills us, what stops us, is we don't see forward progress fast enough or regularly enough. And so therefore, why bother doing it, right? We're done. We quit. And then so we just start over, right? So we need to stop starting over and start building this structure. And that's why I set up my whole Quick Start program, my Stone Age Success Quick Start program, absolutely free. One thing, you get to test drive your coach. You know, I don't know if you saw my video on why I fired my success coach, but it was because I should have test drove them first because I realized that they just didn't have the skills to help me, right? And so I want you to test drive my coaching. So I want you to download my Quick Start program. That gets you into my school community, both which are totally free for as long as you need them to achieve. I engage with you through the chats, I engage through you through coaching calls, and we make things happen. We build those things. We get you clarity. We build the structures. We get you in your routine, and we set up those non-negotiables so you continually drive forward to achieve. Why would we wait? Let's start working together today. Download the Quick Start program. Don't wait another moment. We'll catch you next time.